like a lot of people who talk to me now say that they can tell the difference, and that's good because I can, and I'm hoping other people can.
Did being completely clean actually make the depressing feelings less? Like, do you wake up not as down?
Oh God, yeah. Because the thing about it, when you're using drugs, when you're on the drugs, everything's great, and then when you don't have them, it's hell.
Right.
So it just makes you more depressed when you don't have them.
Right.
Like you're depressed. Okay, I'll take an opiate. That'll make me feel great for a little while. But then when I don't have the opiate anymore, the depression is times 50. Which is, and it was already bad. So that's really scary. It's really scary to take a pill and know, okay, it feels great, but it's only temporary. Eventually I'm going to crash.
Right.
And
how hard was having a job where you have to, I always thought this, knowing that you had a job where you had to be funny for 4 and 5 hours, 4 days a week.
Right.
Is like, to me, it was like just a recipe for disaster.
Well,
for someone who has trouble just getting out of bed, he's in a bad mood, and now he's got to go fake it or do whatever every single day, and then go do comedy on the weekends. It's like
the Stern Show was so much fun that eventually you weren't faking it.
It pulled you out of it.
Yeah,
it's like doing a good set in front of a great crowd.
Yeah, it pulls you out of the depression because
okay.
we would just laugh about the craziest shit, and it was so much fun. My problem was I created a schedule. I did too much stand-up. I shouldn't have.
That was crazy.
David Tell once told me, he goes, "Be careful, Art. You'll get addicted to the money." And that's what I did. I was getting offered, money that was crazy, and
you were like a stripper.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be getting offered money for a weekend that was more than my father made in a year.
Right.
And I'm coming from that place where I'm going, I got to take this. And then before I know it, I got 3 road gigs in a row combined with the radio show, and I lost sight of what was really important, which was the radio show. And I should have just made sure I did that properly. And
just do a gig every once in a while.
Yeah. And I got greedy. That great American disease of greed.
Do you think you'll do that with the radio show that you got coming up?
Well,
do stand up every once in a while.
It's not the Howard Stern show, so the money that was there, I don't think is going to be there. So, but I've already talked to Nick about it. Like, if we do gigs together, we'll try to make it try to do a big gig once a month instead of 3 small.
That's what I'm saying. You do 1 gig every couple months.
That's the plan.
We were actually these guys that I'm working with produce a lot of stand-up kind of tours and stuff, and we were trying to put something together, and it was funny that you resurfaced, and I'm not even going to throw it at you, but it was in the theme of it is because I've been doing this one-man show that's all about the medications and my anxieties and my depressions and all that kind of stuff. And the one thing that I notice when I do these shows is the people that come up to me after the show that want to talk to me aren't annoying.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think I've gotten to that point.
Yeah. Well, they were literally like, I'm struggling with that. Like, they have like interesting stories, and you're like, oh, you are, and they're like, yeah, man, that really hit home. That's so me.
Right.
Or the wife is like, oh, that's him. Or the husband's like, oh my. And I love those kind of moments when I'm talking to the fans, and I actually like helped somebody a little bit by talking about this stuff in a really open way. And I knew Comedy Central did something with Mike DeStefano and Rich Voss, and I think maybe Robert Kelly and a couple other guys. It was like a recovery show that they did on Comedy Central.
Right.
And
those are all funny guys. Like, I started to think you can't be funny without this, and then you see guys like that who are really funny, and they've been clean a long time. Like, I look up to those guys big time. Norton, too, I know, is, I think, recovery, stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are. And I was trying to, I'm always trying to take negatives and put them into positive ways. That's something, I don't know, that's what the kind of stand-up I like.
Right.
So, I told him I want to do some sort of anxiety, depression kind of tour. I don't know if it could be sponsored by fucking Prozac or what. I go, but I would love to have those kind of, have a guy who has an eating disorder, have another comedian, and he talked about Rich Voss hosting it and me, and he's like, you need a big headliner. I'm like, that's funny because I'm interviewing Artie Lange, and he just speaks to this.
Yes.
So, maybe we in the next year we could do 1.
Right.
And it'd be fun. But I just made you feel awkward.
No. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible to make me feel awkward.
I'm trying to deciding from my list of questions, which ones do I really ask and which ones should I skip over?
You're talking to a guy who got arrested almost naked on coke at a supermarket parking lot in L.A. In front of a bunch of people at 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's impossible to make me feel awkward at this point.
Well, it's fun. The one question that I want to ask you, I know the answer to now that I'm sitting here with you, and this was more you when you were on drugs and on alcohol and really depressed, as you would be more socially uncomfortable.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I was always one of those guys where it was when I'm having a conversation with somebody, it's like that old thing. I was more comfortable talking to 2,000 people doing a show than one-on-one with somebody.
Yeah, or just two people.
Yeah. Unless it was certain people.
Because I was going to ask you after listening to you and DePaulo off of that I guess would that be called a pilot of your radio show that you guys did?
It would be radio's version of a pilot, yeah.
Well, you were like Rain Man like with all the World Series stuff and sports and I was telling my wife, and she's a psychologist, so it came up. She's like, "What if Artie's got? Maybe is Artie autistic? Maybe he's a little autistic and he doesn't know it because there's forms of autism that." Are mild, like it's funny that I'm saying this. She goes, what if he might have Asperger's, because those people are really, she goes, and they're socially uncomfortable, and she goes, I've noticed when she goes, my wife's big thing, by the way, she said hi, she's in Paris right now.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I have Luke all week by myself.
There you go.
Yeah, so she literally said, there's times where I notice that Artie has trouble like looking at you and talking to you.
Right.
And then she's like, but he's he's a really sweet guy, and there's other times that he's not. She's like, she goes, that could be a symptom of that,
right? Of Asperger. It'd be great if I had a disease that had the word burger in it. I have Asperger deluxe disease.
Did you have learning disabilities at all in high school?
I was a horrible student, but it was because I just did nothing but fool around.
Right.
I think
right.
Maybe there's some stuff, like there is stuff that I can put in my head and recall, and there's stuff where I could sort of sound intelligent, but I don't think I am. I don't know what my IQ is, but I doubt it's high.
It probably is.
I don't know. I don't think it is, because I can fake it. Like the entire thing to me is, I feel like I'm just like a big con man with stuff. Like people hear that and go, "Yeah, wow, you must be smart." I'm like, I don't know, because there's other stuff where I feel like I'm retarded. Maybe I am autistic. Now you got me thinking about that.
I'm just
I'm not a drug addict anymore. Now I'm autistic.
What? I'm just trying to figure out, like, you're is it when you're like high, it makes you like, you're like, oh shit, people, and then it's harder to talk and like be present. Like that's something I struggle with is that my wife, once again, maybe because she's a psychologist and she uses these words.
Right.
This is where it's turning into Fixing Joe a little bit.
Right.
Which is she goes, you're disconnected.
Yeah.
You're in your head. Get off your fucking phone. Like, well, that's one thing. I'm like constantly trying to make my career better.
Right. Well, that's
my
a good
son's
thing,
right
though.
in front of me, though.
Yeah. Okay. But,
she's like, your son just said your name 6 times and you didn't hear it.
But that's cool being a father, though. Yeah, isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe not to her. It is.
Let me answer this.
Who's calling?
This
Let's take a pause.
Yeah.